Hello, everybody. My name is Wambui. Welcome to 70 Years and Beyond. I remember when it was okay to say good hair. It was okay to refer to someone's hair as good hair. And today, it is not okay. And so I have to be very mindful of what I say today about hair because it is not okay to say, oh, he or she has good hair, because it is thought that if you're saying they have good hair, then you must think your hair is bad. And when I was growing up in the 1950s and 1960s, that is not the true connotation of what was going on. Okay, so as you know, black people have in general, very kind of, curly, tight curls, kinky hair. And I have kinky hair to this day. When I was young, my hair was very thick and very kinky. Right now, I'm wearing a wig. I wear wigs most of the time now. But when I was younger, the trend was that you had your natural hair as a child, but by the time you got to, let's say, first, second grade, then your hair was straightened. Now, there are some people, depending on the type of hair they had, that was kinky, but it was loose kinks. So you could comb and still manipulate it and style it and twist it and do things. But there were some of us who had super kinky hair that the only way you could get it to do anything was to so you could style it and manipulate it, was you had to straighten it with a hot comb. And a hot comb was an iron comb that was heated up on the stove or even in a instrument that was just for heating up hot combs. You heat up the hot comb, and then my mother would painstakingly take piece by piece and straighten my hair. But during that process, it was very uncomfortable for me. Even today when I wash my hair, and the reason I wear wigs is because I'm thinning in the top. I almost look like a bozo thing going on. But I have this very thick hair. When I wash my hair, I have this very thick hair here, just like I did as a child, around the sides and the back. And even when I go to comb my own hair, sometimes I want to cry because it's like, oh, that hurt. I'm trying to get it to do what it does. Now, I don't straighten it anymore underneath. I just finally, will comb it and then I'll braid it and wear my wig over it like that. But when we were growing up, our community, we thought that you looked more presentable if your hair was straightened a little bit. And if you had kinky hair, then it was real important to run the comb through it at least a little bit so that you could comb it easier, and you could then, make a ponytail or puff or braid it easier or make a twist. It was just easier to manipulate the hair. Now, there were a few people in our community who had what we called wash and go hair. And I'll get back to wash and go in a minute. But they had what we call wash and go hair, meaning that they could just wash their hair. The mother could wash their hair. They could wash their hair. And then they didn't have to use a hot comb on it. It was already in a state that could be laid back, pushed down, pushed up, curled. Sometimes it would just come out wavy. And we referred to that hair as good hair. Now, what we didn't realize in those days was that we had wash and go hair too. And now that is evident by all the natural styles and the afros that we see today and that are so popular and look so beautiful. But in those days, the parents in our community, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, felt that, I know my mother, my family felt that straightening the hair was a step up and it was a way of being more presentable, okay? I'm talking about the 1950s here. I'm talking about the early 60s. We thought it was a way of being more presentable, and so that's what we did. Everybody straightened their hair. Okay, so I went to an all-black school. I never went to school with white people. I went to all-black school. I graduated in 68. I'm going to say it was 1967. It may have been early 68, but I'm thinking it was the spring of 67 when two girls at my school showed up with unstraightened hair. They had afros. And the school lost their minds. The staff lost their, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know where that fit in. They didn't know what that was about. We had never seen afros at school before, or black school. This is 67 or 68. We had never seen an afro at school. So these two girls were brave enough to show up at school with an afro, and they were in trouble. They were sent home and told not to come back until they did something with their hair. Now, in our community, like I said, we'd never seen an afro or natural hair like that. And so no one knew where that fit. What did you do with that? How do you react to that? Was there a rule about that in our high school guidelines? Was there something written that said, oh, you can't wear an afro or you can't wear your hair out? I don't think so. I think they were attributing the guideline that said you must show up in a presentable manner. And I believe that at that time, of course, at that time, we were not thinking that an afro was a presentable manner to show up. I remember my sister came home from college for the Christmas break, and my sister had an afro. And I remember my mother telling my sister, you will not be able to go to church with us if you don't straighten your hair. And I believe the outcome was that my sister didn't go to church with us because she was now making a stand, because away at college where she was, that was the thing, which is why she came home with it, is because where she was away at college in 67, 68, black girls had afros. And so my sister had an afro, but we hadn't caught up yet where we were in Greensboro, North Carolina. Slowly but surely, we caught on I think I was already away at college by the time the afro was accepted in my community. I go back to the fact that when we were growing up, we had wash and wear hair, but we didn't realize it. We weren't utilizing it. So for us to see someone who had wash and go hair, we said, oh my goodness, they have good hair. And it wasn't a thing where we were ready to kill ourselves over it. It was just something, a trait. Oh, she has pretty teeth. I wish I had pretty teeth like that. Oh, she's tall. I wish I was taller like her. It was just a trait. She has good hair. I wish I had hair that was like that we didn't have to straighten it to make it look presentable. And so that's what I'm saying when I say I remember when it was okay to say good hair. It was okay to refer to someone, or if someone was trying to describe someone might say, well, who said that to you? What girl was that? And you might say, that girl over there, the one with the good hair. And it was just a way of describing someone. But like I say, we had wash and go hair the whole time too. We just didn't realize it. But I do remember when it was okay to say good hair.